FossiLord of the DMV Drakes, back with the best undisputed market watch for the Digimon TCG game. Right, I've got a couple of things curated up for us today that I think are going to be pretty relevant for the new rule sets for the upcoming Ultimate Cups. So I'm gonna go over some picks that I think are going to show up, and then just some standard market changes. So we'll start with Digimon. Actually, I'm gonna save that Lucimon stuff for last. So last week I talked about how Digimon usually sits around, I think it was $30. We've recently had a dip where it dropped down earlier this week to about 23, 24. I know I picked up my 4-pack at like 20. I picked up my play set at like 24 for all four, but it went right back up because people are seeing that Gallantmon is going to be one of the better picks for Ultimate Cup, since everyone's going to be playing like Bloom Lord, which goes wide, or some kind of blue deck, maybe Fish Control, which also goes wide. And Gallantmon is going to be one of the few decks that are going to be really good at keeping that in check. So if you really want to, you could pick this up now, but I would definitely say wait until it hits $25, because it will drop. But one thing you need to be careful about is that BT12 is coming up. Gallantmon gets support in BT12, and this is probably going to go up in price to maybe around like $30, $32, $33. So just be watching this. Another card for the Gallantmon deck is the Guilmon EX2 alternate art. $16 is a great price to pay for this card. This card normally goes for about $20, $22. We've got a decent amount of copies ranging up to $20. Then you got a nice threshold of 4 copies here at $20. So I think that was still like the cap of which you should probably pay for this. Unless you want to max rarity this deck, then go for it. But like I said, for Digimon, Gallantmon support is coming out. This card, as well as the other Gallantmon cards I'm going to cover, is going to go up. So watch out for those. And then Crimson Mode. Okay, I'm pretty sure I said this last time, but this art is amazing. I love the fire effects mixed with his holy light weapons. But this card has been, if I remember correctly, oh no, this card went up. Yeah, looking past the only unverified seller on here, which even though they have a lot of good sales and a high rating, Gallantmon Crimson Mode right now is going for about $40. That's not bad. It usually sits around 40 to 35 depending on what's happening. And since the Ultimate Cup's meta is going to be shifted from the normal meta, this card's going up in response to that. So if you don't have this card, you might have to get it now because Gallantmon is coming out in BT12 with support. So gotta get your staples whenever. Speaking of another staple, Alt Art Takato. I love the the Tamer alt arts from EX2. I really like the resonating effect that they have from the actual show. But this card it's sitting at actually a pretty reasonable price range. Usually this card goes for about $28 to $30. It's currently sitting at about 20. It's actually sitting at that right now with a couple options, couple play sets before you hit 30. And then it just jumps up after shipping and taxes all add up. So if you have the money, I'd say get this now because it will be going up in pricing soon. Next we have Shoutmon Cross 5. So this card, remember when this card spiked? Because I was trying to buy them at the time, and I didn't want to buy 4 copies of Cross 5 at $30 each, so I had to wait. And I was able to wait till it dropped down to a more reasonable price of $20. 22. I got mine for about 20 each because I was able to get them locally. But this card I think it's going to sit around the $20 to $22 price range for a while, because even though Shoutmon isn't going to be played in Ultimate Cup, it's probably going to drop to like 18 to 20 around then. Superior Mode is coming out in BT12, and this card is going to be really good in that deck because this is a free play with Rush. It is a staple of the Cross Heart deck. No matter how many you play, you will need at least 2 copies of this. So if you really want this, you could wait to see how it drops during the Ultimate Cups, but just be ready for when the prices shoot back up from the BT12 release. This card, I was so surprised when Shopmon Cross 3 pre-release is price shot up. When I got mine, I got it on pre-release for I think about like $4 to $5 per copy. We people in my locals were able to see the value, but we didn't see it this high. Sitting at the lowest of 18, going up to 37. Unless you really want to match rarity this deck, I would not recommend buying this. I would see if you could wait for it to drop down in price from the Ultimate Cup meta, forming away from the Crossart deck because of all the colors. But if you have some of these, you're sitting on some good value right now. You should probably sell them now if you're not using them, because that's a nice 20-ish dollars you can make, get you some alt arts, or go towards an Ultimate Cup deck you're building, or even just put it towards some BT12 boxes when they come out. Alright, we're going to look at the Beelzemon stuff now. This Imon. So this Imon is getting a... I believe this is the Imon getting a new alternate art from the Beelzemon structure deck. But this art... I saw this drop down to like $10, $10 to $12 recently, but it went back up to $16. It's not bad. Actually, we can check that now. Yeah, there was like a couple $10 down here. That's what I saw. If you have this, great. If not, you probably don't have to rush out to get it. There will be another art. There will be another alternate art for EX2 Imon coming out, but this one is nice to have if you do have the option to get it. Ai and Mako. Alright, this, like I said, EX2 Tamer alternate arts, some of the best alternate arts I've seen. But this Ai and Mako has dropped down in price considerably from what it normally goes for. If you don't have a playset, get it now while they're about $14 to like $18. They normally go for $18 to $20. Sometimes they go all the way up to $27. But definitely get this before the Beelzemon structure deck comes out, because it probably will go up from there, even though I'm not sure how many of this specific Ai and Mako you play in that deck. And then with the Beelzemon support coming out in BT12, definitely think about if this is going to go up when that comes out, and if you should get it before then. Because this isn't, as far as I know, this isn't exactly a staple in the Beelzemon deck, because you usually just rely on milling your promo Wizardmons and your Death Slingers. But hitting this in security is still always nice to have. This card, the EX2 Beelzemon card, just keeps going up in price. Last time I covered it, I think it was $10 to $12. Now it's basically $18. So if you don't have this, sucks to be you. If you really want it, you're gonna have to pay a lot for a full playset. Used to be lowest at like $4. Now it's all the way to $15. So if you don't have it, you're gonna have to open the wallet and take that hit for this. Going back to the Ultimate Cup meta, All Force is going to be another deck that runs rampant through Ultimate Cup, because it is a mono blue deck that doesn't require any other color. The alternate art, I don't think the alternate art has changed too much from last week. All right, never mind. There were a couple $34. I don't know who bought those. But it's mostly been sitting around 25 to 28. So if you want to get it now, you probably can. I don't think it'll shift too much, at least going into the Ultimate Cup meta. It might go up a little afterwards. There was the All Force Featuremon X that comes out in BT12, but I didn't see too many tops in Japan with that card in the deck specifically, so it might drop down after that. So it's really a gamble. But if you have the money now and you really want it, it's at a fine price for you to get it now. Rena. This card keeps going up between the waifu tax and it just being a staple in the All Force Featuremon deck, and it being a secret. That combination is going to make this the worst thing on a player's wallet. Now, if you already have your playset or you're looking to move some, around now, or even just into Ultimate Cups, it's a great time for you to sell it. It's sitting at 65 right now. It's only going to go up. Goes all the way to 69. Nice. And then there's the 4 copies for 100. Okay, so don't buy the $100 copies per card. $100 per copy for this card. If you really want to play this deck, see if you can get it locally, get it for cheaper, maybe do some trades, open up your trade binder. But if you don't have, and unless you have the money for this, definitely just pass on this. This is not worth it if you don't have it already finished. And then the alt art is even worse, sitting at the lowest at $73 and only going up, having a $120 copy. If you have this, now's a great time to move it. But if you don't, let it go. Look for another deck to play during Ultimate Cup. Gallantmon, Bloom, both are more affordable. If you really wanted to, you could run Dark Knight. I know I've been considering Dark Knight. It's good to de-digivolve and pop other opponents' Digimon. I feel like that could be pretty useful against Bloom Lord. But don't buy a full playset of the arenas if you don't already have them right now. You need to wait for them to cool down. I opened 2 copies of that. Agumon X Antibody. So this card had it's basically almost bought out at this point. If you don't have it now, you are fresh out of luck. You're gonna have to try to find it locally or see if someone's willing to drop down in price on like some of our trade servers. I know the DMV Drakes, our server, which hopefully is linked below, or in our YouTube channel. We have a couple sellers on our marketplace who will be happy to sell you cards. I don't know if they have this one, but this card, the Ultimate Cup, between the Ultimate Cup, Black or Gray, in right now topping a lot of nationals and coming out of BT11 and dominating the meta, and then War Gray getting support in BT12, and then Digimon always releasing their Agumon support. If you don't have this card, like the arena, you're gonna have to eat the bullet if you want this, because this is going to break your wallet. And you are fresh out of luck with that one. I'm so glad I don't need this alternate art. Next, we've got Bloom Lord. So Bloom Lord regular art's around $5. It's a pretty good card. The Unsuspend and Piercing and Sec Checks is always good. I know I've been demolished by that. It's always aggravating every time, but it is really fun to watch them just go from like 1 stack to like 4 bodies on the field. I say $5 is a pretty good price to get this card at. If you can find it locally, you can get it even cheaper if you use your trades. But $5 is pretty standard for this, and depending on how the Ultimate Cups go, this card could go up, it could go down. It really depends. But if you really want it and are looking to play it, get it now. I know I need to pick up my last couple copies, as well as another card I'm going to show you, because I'm planning on at least testing out this deck a little bit. I have a lot of decks that I test. But the alternate art for it is sitting at $30. It was higher during the end of BT10 and into EX3 when Bloom Lord was dominating the meta. It did fall off a lot when Black War Gray came out, because Black War Gray could easily deal with this by swinging into it or forcing it to, or really just popping it at the beginning of the turn, depending on how the board state looks. But it's making a bit of a comeback with the Ultimate Cup, with the new Ultimate Cup format. And it's all the sales currently have been around $30. You're running out of $30 purchases, not sellers and card. You're running out of $30 sellers. Everything's starting to go up. So if you really want the full play set of this, get it now. I feel like this is only going to go up through Ultimate Cup meta. Just be prepared for your wallet to take a hit. We're also going to look at Hydramon, the other level 6 in the Bloom Lord deck. This is good. It's in at about $8. I think that's a pretty good cost for this card. Definitely get your playset now while it's cheap. I know I probably will pick up my playset after this call. Probably going to pick up this core set right here. So if when you guys see, actually pick up the PPG playset right here. So if you guys don't see that there, that was me. Should have gotten it earlier. Sucks to be you. But it's definitely good because it can bounce, it can suspend, it can swing into stuff if you have enough things suspended and gain enough memory when you suspend your opponent's Digimon. So it's definitely a threat that you need to be worried about. Alright, Galactamon. I am bringing this up because this is a $14 to $15 secret that wasn't the chase card of this set, but it's still a pretty good deck. I know I've played it a couple times. It's pretty solid. It's not too hard to work on once you know how it functions, but it is a $15 secret that is really good. So if you have the options and the capabilities to get it, definitely pick it up. The alternate art for the secret isn't that much more expensive. It's about $24 to $25. depending on how far you go down. I think that's a pretty good. I think it's a pretty good deal for a Secrets alternate art, especially one that is still that can be used a lot in the upcoming Ultimate Cup. Actually, this is another deck I've been considering. I'm considering Gallant, Bloom, Dark Knight, Galactic. I already forgot the rest, but I've got a lot of decks in consideration for your Ultimate Cup. It's just one of those things where you're just gonna have to feel it out in your testing beforehand. Currently leaning towards more Gallantmon because I'm more accustomed to that. I've got most of my alts for that. Definitely got to be prepared for everything you're gonna see this set. Angelmon, Waifu Tax strikes again. This card, even though Mastermon had a small comeback because of it in, like, I know my locals, we had a couple Mastermon players come back because of the new support. This card is sitting at $45 per copy. I see it fluctuate between like 45 to 50, maybe sometimes 55. Okay, no. So like 45 to 50. That's a lot. If you don't want this alternate art, or you don't explicitly need it, don't get it. It might not go down fast soon, but it will go down because off the top of my head, I don't remember Mastermon getting large amounts of support in BT12. In EX4, I know there's Shine Greymon Ruin mode that you can put on top of Mastermon, which is always, an interesting move, but don't buy this now if you really don't want it or don't need it. Same with Lady Devimon, though this Lady Devimon's a little more easier on your wallet. Sitting at $30, going up to, I guess, $35. Oh, not a lot of copies left. If you really want this, go for it. You've got a nice five cards at Trio TCG. Not really needed unless you play Mastermon, but it does provide some nice things. Only get this one if you really need it. I'm not that much of a Mastermon player, so I can't really speak on what the deck needs. But I do want to bring up Mirai because, again, Waifu Tax strikes again. As far as I know, this card is very much a staple of the Mastermon deck. And with all the support that came out, as well as this, and then some of the EX4 things like Shine Greymon, this card it might drop at most maybe $10, but it's still going to be sitting probably around like a $30 card. So definitely take that into consideration when you think about if you really want to buy this card now or wait and gamble with it going up or down. The last set of cards I want to talk about is Lucimon. I know you guys got a sneak peek at this earlier, but I really want to go a little bit in depth into this. In BT13, we got explicit support for the Lucimon decks between the BT13 Dynasmon, which can search out a Lucimon from your deck, and the BT13 Lord Knightmon, which can pull it out of your trash. A lot of my community, we all thought, hey, we're going to get Lucimon, Fall Down mode as the secret. That way you can search it out, do whatever you got to do, and that caused these to spike. Right now, it's still spiking. You can always put in Merva Loop, I guess. I don't play Merva Loop, so I don't really know. But I know when I got my cards of this before I trade them, because I just buy them and use them as trade value, this was sitting around $30. This was $10. So unless you need these cards right now, don't buy them. They're not worth it. And this one was sitting around $50. I don't really know what this BT4 one was sitting at. I never really looked at it. But if you don't need it, don't buy it. They're way too expensive for what they're worth. But that's going to do it all for me today for my market watch. If you like the video, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to see more cards added to this. Let me know if you want to see cards removed from this. If you hated it, subscribe, dislike it. I'd rather you like it, but do what you got to do. Comment down below what you hate, what I could do better. I'm open to the feedback. I'm trying to make this a nice series for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.